A Calvillo, Aguascalientes. ¿Qué es la Fundación 911? ¿Nos podría explicar qué es lo que hace esta fundación para, tengo entendido, el mundo entero?
Okay. The 9/11 Foundation was created in the days after September 11th of 2001. And we created the foundation so that we could use the experience that we have gained in many years in the New York City Fire Department and in the events of September 11th to take a tragedy, to use it for good, to help our brothers around the world. And we do it by doing three things. We do it by donating equipment, apparatus, and training. And we have been doing it for the last 10 years. Now we are working in 18 different countries.
18 diferentes ciudades. México, ¿desde cuándo voltean los ojos ustedes hasta México y qué están haciendo en este país?
We have been honored to work in Mexico over the past 2 years. First, we started in Guadalupe, and from Guadalupe we began to work in Juarez. And then while we were in Juarez, we had the opportunity to meet with friends from Meoqui and Malinalco and Calvillo, and we decided that by the grace of God we have some help to offer, and we have decided to devote our energies now to work in many different communities throughout Mexico.
¿Cómo deciden venir a Calvillo? ¿Qué los lleva a llegar a este lugar y pensar en apoyar este pueblo, este municipio?
Well, certainly Calvillo is a small community. When we met with Jesus, Dr. De Leon, we talked about the medical needs in the clinics and the hospitals in terms of the importance of pre-hospital care for the citizens of Calvillo. And we have recently made a rather substantial donation of equipment, medical supplies and firefighting equipment, that today is in El Paso waiting to come into Mexico, and that equipment is going to be distributed here in Calvillo as well as Meoqui and Saucillo and a number of other communities in Estado de Chihuahua. And we have come here to do what we call fact-finding, to see how, given the needs here, we could be of further assistance, God willing, in the future.
Después de este recorrido, de estos diferentes lugares que acabamos de ver, ¿cómo encuentran ustedes la ciudad de Calvillo? ¿Cómo encuentran este pueblo? ¿Qué necesidades detectaron ustedes?
Clearly there are things that are needed. In our brief time here, so I say with respect that we have only been here a brief time, so what we have learned in the time that we have been here is there is an additional need for training for people who work in pre-hospital care, people who work in the fire service, people who are in the hospital, to understand how they and the police and the firefighters and civil protection could all work together effectively if, God forbid, there is a large event that necessitates a large-scale response. And we hope to be able to help with training and donations of additional equipment in the future.
El entrenamiento es algo que nos llamó mucho la atención, sobre todo lo que están planeando ustedes, venir, dar capacitación, entrenamiento a los bomberos, no solamente del municipio, incluso están pensando en otros municipios del estado de Aguascalientes.
Yes. In discussions with the firefighters, we talked about what they have, we talked about the work that they do, we talked about the training that they received. We looked at the firehouse, we looked at their equipment. We also talked about the collaboration between Calvillo and other communities in Aguascalientes and in the surrounding states. This week in Mexico, we have 3 fire chiefs for the 9/11 Foundation in Mexico coming to train fire chiefs in incendio forestal. and they are doing training with fire chiefs from 40 different communities in Marinalco with Probosque and Fundacion Comunitaria Marinalco. Okay, that's where we are working this week. We are hoping that in the future we will be able to bring firefighters here to work with your firefighters and firefighters from the surrounding areas, because we have a philosophy. And the philosophy is very simple, that since in any emergency, it is the firefighters and the police and the first responders who take the biggest risks, that no community can ever be safe unless they are trained and equipped to do their job when they are called upon, whether they are paid or whether they are volunteers. So our hope, our goal, our commitment is to work with them to make the good people here even better, so that in the future they can do what they are called upon to do and the public can be protected.
Es amazing idea. Es una muy buena idea. Sinceramente, como calvillense, y sé que es el sentir de todos los calvillenses, vamos a estar muy agradecidos por lo que están haciendo, el corazón tan grande, de verdad, de tomarse su tiempo y de venir. De verdad, Dios los bendiga por lo que están haciendo. Van a ayudar a mucha gente aquí en el país, incluyendo a Calvillo. Una pregunta que seguro muchos se hacen: ¿cómo se sustentan ustedes? ¿Cómo se mantienen? ¿Quién los apoya?
First, let me say that we are the ones who are honored and privileged to be here. And we recognize that while we may wear different uniforms, and while we may speak a different language, and while we may have different procedures, there are things that we have that are no different, that are exactly the same. And that is the heart, and that is the courage, and that is the willingness to take risks to protect our families and our community. So with that in mind, we do what we are called upon to do. And we do it in memory of the 343 New York City firefighters who made the supreme sacrifice, who died on September 11th in the rescue of 25,000 innocent civilians. So we never forget the sacrifice, and while we mourn their loss, we celebrate their lives, and we have converted that experience into our attempt to do good and to help our brothers and to help our friends, to help our families around the world. So we're the ones who say thank you to you for the wonderful invitation and for your generosity and for the interest in supporting your first responders, and we are privileged to do what we can do to be of assistance.
Thank you very much. De verdad tienen un corazón muy grande y es para reconocerse y para admirarse lo que un grupo de personas están haciendo por un país, y creo que Calvillo está bendecido porque están ustedes aquí, porque llegaron a una comunidad tan pequeña que sé que después de esta visita se transformará con las capacitaciones, con los materiales y con esa seguridad que se va a incrementar en este municipio. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, and we hope that this is the beginning of a long-term, a healthy and a productive relationship for all of us. And God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.